2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Monroe Mann with break diving. I'm back again. I didn't think I was going to do another live today for break diving, but I wanted to talk about number 5 on the diver's code. And bear with me one second. I'm just setting something up here, and I need to go to the YouTube studio. Okay, bear with me one second. There we are. So, yeah, now we're going to be talking about number 5 on the diver's code. And number 5 is I try not to get offended. So I'm gonna read this to you guys. Very important. What's up, love and light? Good to see you again. So number 5 is I try not to get offended. We're going to talk about this one right here. I try not to let the opinions of others determine my future, nor do I get bogged down with unreasonable political correctness just to please everyone, nor do I get easily offended by petty issues that ultimately only serve to distract me from my dreams. So, I'm going to read that again. Listen carefully. I try not to get offended. I try not to let the opinions of others determine my future, nor do I get bogged down with unreasonable political correctness just to please everyone, nor do I get easily offended by petty issues that ultimately only serve to distract me from my dreams. Let's break this down, every one of those sentences. First, I try not to get offended. I think we all suffer from this. I mean, just thinking today, I can think in the last week that how many times I've got offended by people. My mom offended me by something she said. These two guys these fellow TEDx speakers, there's something they both said to me about break diving offended me. And I'm trying to think of other times I've been offended. You know, you get offended when I got offended by YouTube when I thought that they were no longer sending me new viewers on my channel. Where else do I get offended? I mean, you can get offended in so many different ways, but you have to realize in getting offended doesn't really help you. It doesn't help me either. How does me getting offended by my mom help me? How does me getting offended by these two colleagues of mine help me? It doesn't. It's just about me and my ego. So let's read some more of this. I try not to let the opinions of others determine my future. What's up, Raphael? I mean, how many times does somebody else's opinion derail us in some way? How many times have you let someone's opinion in some way determine your future? Because you let your stinky ego get in the way and go, I'm so offended. I can't believe she said that. I can't believe he said that. That's it. I'm not going. And I can just, as I'm talking, I'm thinking of things in my own mind, my own life, where I've gotten offended by something that someone said, and I ended up doing something different and missing out on some opportunity because I was letting my ego get in the way. I do not want you as break divers, I do not want your egos to get in the way. And for those of you who are wondering what break diving is, it's the name of this channel. My name is Monroe Mann. The break diving is, don't wait for opportunities to float to the surface. You have to dive in and make your own big breaks in life. And right now we're looking at the diver's code, number 5. I try not to get offended. So thank you for those of you who click like. And if you do not click like, I am not going to be offended. Thank you for those of you who subscribe to our channel. But if you don't, I will not be offended. And thank you for those of you who click the bell so you get notified. But if you don't, I will not be offended. Let's read the next sentence on this. Nor do I get bogged down with unreasonable political correctness just to please everyone. Political correctness was really only starting to become a thing when I was in 8th grade. This was in the late 80s, early 90s. something around there. And that's when that term was really starting to become a thing, political correctness. And back in the day, I mean, we're dealing with it really badly now. The political correctness gone to this crazy extreme has become woke. And you've seen this happen. It used to be that you could say anything you wanted as a comedian. Today, you can get quote unquote canceled. By the way, I'll read through all of the comments in a moment. Don't leave, I will read your comments. And now stand-up comedians are really nervous. What do I say? Or what can I not say? And I mean, I'm even concerned about here on YouTube. What do you say and not say to make sure that the channel doesn't get deleted or something like that? And we're all worried about this now. I think it's a direct result of the internet. Before, one insulting comment that you said to one person in person, it's gonna be forgotten in a day. But today, if you say something, like this video is being recorded. Whatever I say on here, it's being recorded for all of history. So now, one false move here could have reverberations to millions and millions of people. Let's hope that one of these videos actually gets seen by millions and millions of people. But you understand my point. But I'm telling you, if you want to succeed, you cannot be worried about political correctness all the time. You have to be who you are. You don't want to insult people and be mean. And if you notice on this channel, I'm not being mean to anybody. I mean, it's not about that. I'm not talking about you should be a decent person just in general. But assuming you're a decent person, again, I'll read this to you. Nor do I get bogged down with unreasonable political correctness just to please everyone. Abraham Lincoln is credited with saying, you can please some of the people all the time. You can please all of the people some of the time, but you can never please all of the people all of the time. And so at some point, you need to make that decision. And for me, I usually err on the side of not being politically correct because I want to be authentic and be who I am. Andrew says, don't be a bigot is pretty easy. 2W, it's a diving channel, and I am a dive master. I'm also a licensed skydiver, and maybe those sports inspired my philosophy of breakdiving. But the idea of breakdiving is don't wait for opportunities to float to the surface. You need to dive in to the shark-infested, cold, icy waters of resistance to make your own big breaks in life. So it's basically a philosophy I use to remind me to go after my dreams. But Knuckles, you're right. This is crazy times. And Andrew says, don't be a bigot. It's pretty easy. Yes and no. Because I think it's gotten so far that everybody is walking on eggshells. And I applaud Dave Chappelle and Netflix. For Dave Chappelle said, I don't care. I'm going to do a comedy show that pokes fun at transgender. Which is, of course, is a taboo topic now if we're being politically correct. But you should be able to poke fun at everybody and anybody. People come onto this live stream and poke fun of my forehead and go, look at you, you've got a 5 head. People say, dude, your hair is receding. How old are you? It's like, good, I don't care. Let them make fun of me. And I think that's important. I'm glad that I am not a politically correct channel. I don't care what any of you guys say as long as you're not being really, truly insulting or using bad language and stuff like that. But we're talking about the diver's code here. And that diver's code is, what can I do to apply the breakdiving philosophy in my life? So I'm saying, just guys, don't get too politically correct and don't try to please everybody because you're never going to be able to please everybody. So it's better, yes, you're right, don't be a jerk. That's just a general thing. But be authentically who you are. And at the same token, don't get offended if someone says something to you. If somebody criticizes your nose, someone talks about your eyebrows, someone talks about your personality, if somebody talks about your weight, you will not succeed in life if you repeatedly spend all of your energy getting offended by all these people. The better thing is to take your offense and just apply that energy into success and doing what you need to do. The next part of this, it says, nor do I get easily offended by petty issues that ultimately only serve to distract me from my dreams. This is why I try to stay off that X thing or Twitter. It's just everybody arguing over petty, stupid things. And it's why I created breakdiving. I mean, this channel is part of, it's a not-for-profit channel based on the breakdiving organization, which is a Delaware not-for-profit, breakdiving.io. And so you can come to breakdiving.io if you want to be a part of our community. No, it's not a pyramid scheme or cult. Well, in some ways you could say it's a cult, because a cult is just a group of people who are rallied around a common goal or common philosophy. So there are good cults and there are bad cults. And this is a good one. And it's not a pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme is when you're trying to get money from people and using money from one person to support the selling to the other. That's not what this is either. It's a not-for-profit and there's no money involved. So it's not a pyramid scheme, but hope that addresses your questions. Yeah, it's breakdiving.io. Yeah, it's 2W Tyke. Instead of criticizing it, go to breakdiving.io and go read about it. That's you can go check it out and see for yourself what this community actually is. So I'm going to read this again. Number 4. I try not to get offended. So, and let's read it together. Let's look at it so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I try not to get offended. I try not to let the opinions of others determine my future. Nor do I get bogged down with unreasonable political correctness just to try to please everyone. Nor do I get easily offended by petty issues that ultimately only serve to distract me from my dreams. So, that's the basic summary of what that is try not to get offended. So T.W. Tyke says, since when are questions criticisms? You should try not to get offended. When did I get offended? I've been smiling and laughing and answering your questions the whole time. It's not a criticism. But you're saying, when you ask somebody, so is this a pyramid scheme or cult? It's implied that that's a criticism. So if it were a genuine question, it would be, wait, what is this channel? I'm confused. That would have been a genuine question. But everybody knows that pyramid schemes and cults have a negative connotation. So when you lead with that question, it's called a leading question. And I'm a lawyer. And when you ask a question that is leading the respondent towards an answer, then it's inappropriate. It should be an open-ended question. Your second question is better. Since when are questions criticisms? They're not. That's a decent question. You told me I should educate myself instead of making criticism. Show me your bar card, please. I don't need to show you my bar card, please. I don't need to do that. I'm a licensed attorney in New York. I have a PhD in psychology. I'm a Bronze Star nominated Iraq war veteran, and I'm the founder of breakdiving.io. But thank you for being a wonderful troll here. Good to have you. A Doctor Who, what, where? Hey, I remember you. Good to see you. Welcome back to the live stream for breakdiving. And remember, today we're talking about Tenet number 5, I try not to get offended. And think about it, where do you learn how to not get offended? From the spammers that are on a lot of these YouTube live streams. That is one of the best crucibles to a trial by fire to learn how to not get offended, because the people in the live streams are 2W Tyke. Am I talking about you necessarily? No, I didn't call you a troll, did I? See, that's another lesson, is don't make assumptions. I have another YouTube channel, Monroe Mann, where I get a large number of trollers and spammers. And I'm just talking in general. If you are a YouTube live streamer, you have to deal with trolls and spammers all the time. And you're going to get people who are criticizing you, no matter what you do. But it applies to anything you do in life. That's the main thing, the main lesson here. As soon as if people are criticizing you or trying to drag you down in any way, shape, or form, You should wear that as a badge of honor because it means you're doing something that is worthy of remark. It means you're doing something remarkable. And for whatever reason, they decided they want to criticize you for it. Don't get offended. Think about it like, awesome. I have people who are criticizing me. Use that as a way to push yourself forward. TW Tyke, no, I didn't make an assumption based on my initial question. You don't ask somebody, you're just being rude. You don't ask somebody, so is this a pyramid scheme or a cult? That's just rude. You're being rude. So there was no assumption. It was a clear fact that you were being rude. So not being a hypocrite. Just so you know. And for any of you watching, if you never want to ask somebody, so is what you're doing a pyramid scheme? That's a huge insult. Hey, so you basically run a cult. That's a huge insult. So maybe you do have Asperger's, in which case, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't be on YouTube Live. You know, maybe you should control yourself a little bit. Because people with Asperger's tend to have an inability to control what they say. So be careful. Be careful. This guy, 2W Tyke, though, is a really good example. I'm glad that he's here, or she, because it's showing you to try not to get offended. It's so easy for me to obviously just get incensed and go, oh, start arguing with this person. But that's going to keep me from the dream, keep me from the mission. What's my mission right now is to do a good live stream that gets a bunch of likes, that gets more awareness about the breakdiving community, we hope we'll get more subscribers, get more watch time, which will lead to eventually getting the channel monetized, probably within the next 11 months or so. So we'll see. So I'll read this again now because we had some good stuff on here. I try not to get offended. I try not to let the opinions of others determine my future. Nor do I get bogged down with unreasonable political correctness just to try to please everyone. Nor do I get easily offended by petty issues that ultimately only serve to distract me from my dreams. TW Tyke, I already have a channel monetized, and I'm the same guy there that I am here. So probably going to get monetized. Yeah, these trolls always go for the lowest common denominator. But like I said, all of you should be grateful when there is someone who is criticizing you. Because if someone's criticizing you, it means you're doing something that's striking a nerve. Like here's this 2W Tyke here. For some reason, for 15 minutes, I have kept this person entertained. This person is here watching this live stream and commenting, generally in a negative way, about everything that I say. And I think, wow, cool. I've got a repeat viewer here. And that's what trolls, spammers, critics, whatever will never realize. They are helping to spur on the engine of motivation to keep going. You'll never be back. That's fine, TW Tyke. First of all, you probably will, because YouTube is going to recommend this live stream to you again, unless you block my channel or the breakdiving channel. And even if you don't, then you still gave about 15 minutes of watch time, so you helped make a non-monetary donation to breakdiving's watch time. So thank you very much. I certainly appreciate that. Anyway, as I was saying is, if any of you don't have critics, that's when you should worry. You should worry. I'm going to time this guy out. He's getting really annoying. Wow. Time out for 10 minutes. Timed out. Finally relieved. you're going to get people like this. And I'm glad. Like I said, I'm always grateful when YouTube does send people like this into the live streams, because it helps to remind me that having some negativity in your life, believe it or not, can actually be positive in some strange way. Because it reminds you who your true fans are. Like in this live stream, Doctor Who, What, Where, and Love and Light, Savage Games, Andrew S., Knuckles, Akif, Ross and Alves, Rue, Raphael. I don't know who else is still here. But any of you guys, I mean, that's who you should care about. But having negativity helps remind you of who the people are that are actually on your side. Doctor Who, What, Where says the lack of criticism can be a negative issue. Yeah. Think about it. If my other YouTube channel, the one for my personal thing, over the summer I was sometimes getting 150 people at a time, and I was getting so many spammers. And it felt so good. It felt so good that so many people were criticizing me, because it meant like, wow, I'm saying something that is getting a rise out of these people. It's making them think. It's making them incensed enough that they want to type something in the live chat. There were also positive comments as well. But it's good to have both sides. It means you're saying something that strikes a chord with people. I often talk about Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Robert Kiyosaki and his books. And as soon as I mention that, there's always people who love him and people who hate him. And that's fine. By and large, I think his philosophy is sound. But it's good. He has a lot of people who think that his philosophy of investments is way out there. But that's good. It's good to have both people who love you and people who hate you. Let me see. Brian's asking, can anyone name one reason why Kamala's the best choice? Well, anything about Trump? No, it's impossible, Brian. Though, I will say, again, I'm speaking as a representative of breakdiving now, and a not-for-profit, not as myself. Kamala Harris did a much better job at the debate than I think anybody had thought, and I give her credit for that. I think Trump made a good decision not agreeing to do any more debates. I think Kamala Harris got all of the questions beforehand. I think she had a chance to practice. And, but again, you mentioned the name Trump or Harris. They're both polarizing figures, but that's a good thing for them, because they want people who love them and hate them. They don't want people who just, whatever, I don't know, he's okay, this, that, or other thing. The key is you want to have critics. However, you have to learn, number 5, I try not to get offended. You want the critics, you just have to learn to let the criticism just slide off your back. And that's what you do as a break diver. Avery says, and aren't you supposed to embrace the criticism instead of blocking them? If you block one side, you're not listening to both. It's different when there's just spammers. Look what happened. As soon as I stopped the spammer for 10 minutes as a timeout, I'm getting actual real comments from people who care. And I gave him a 10-minute timeout because he was just spamming. And if he comes back in 10 minutes and wants to have a decent conversation, he's certainly welcome to do so. Doctor Who says, standing on to the conventional wisdom. I'm not sure what you mean by that. What conventional wisdom are you talking about? Avery says, women have the right to choose. This is me speaking personally. Not if it involves killing a baby. So, it's not about women having the right to choose. It's about when is it a viable baby. Because once it's a viable baby, it unequivocally becomes murder. And so that's where that actual discussion goes. You should not be saying women have the right to choose. Right to choose what? Between killing and not killing? No. Let's see. Water on a duck's back. That's right. Water on a duck's back. You got to let criticism go over. If you notice, I'm not getting offended by what that guy said. It's more about I also have a responsibility as a live stream host to make sure that the chat is a good place. I don't mind people saying things, but it's like if you're writing 7, 8, 9 comments in a row, you go from being a fun spammer to being an annoying spammer. Uncomfortable Truth says, Repubs, Dems, wings of the same bird. I would agree with you in many ways, shapes, and form. All of these politicians are corrupt to a degree. I think the American government has gotten too big. It's too big to handle. But this applies to most countries as well. I think government is more of an evil. It's a necessary evil. It's important that we have it because otherwise there's anarchy. But at the same time, if it gets too big, it becomes corrupt. And I think that's where the United States government that's the territory that it has entered. Thank you, Brian, for your, I don't know if that's a criticism or a compliment. I don't know all the new lingo that these people are saying all these days. And just as a review, since we got a few people here, the last part, the part of the diver's code that we talked about before, actually, let's do a review. We're going to do a review of the diver's code 1 to 5. So number 1, I am a brake diver. I pursue my dreams with an unmitigated passion and choose to live by the brake diver's creed. No rules, no excuses, no regrets. I am a brake diver and I will find a way. So that's the main tenet of what it means to be a brake diver. You need to pursue your dreams with an unmitigated passion. What does unmitigated means? It means it's uncontrolled. You're just going after that dream with whoa, like craziness, right? And you choose to live by the brake diver's creed. No rules, no excuses, no regrets. And I have it on my arm here in Chinese. Wu Zhu Shu, Mei Jia Kou. And up on my arm here, Bu Hou Hui, which is no rules, no excuses, no regrets. The main part of this is if you've got a dream in life, you got to remember this. I am a brake diver and I will find a way. So, let's see. It's a compliment. Being over dramatic on the future of the USA. I'm not sure. I'm not very proud of where this country is right now, and so I'm definitely concerned. Again, I'm speaking personally, not as a representative from brake diving. Avery says yes, you did. Did I enter a cult? And Avery says yes, you did. Again, a cult is just a collection of people who are going after the same thing. So a cult is everybody on an Olympic team. That's a cult. A cult is all the Republicans voting for Trump. A cult is all of the Democrats voting for Kamala Harris. And a cult are the people who are a member of the brake diving community who believe that it's important to go after your dreams and not let anything get in the way. I absolutely have a dystopian view on government. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, government, as Ronald Reagan once said, government will not solve your problem. Government is the problem. Government is the problem. I'm not going to deny it in the fact that like I said, look up the definition of a cult. It has sort of a negative connotation, but it's not always. The general definition of a cult is a group of people who believe the same thing. And this is what brake divers believe, this diver's code right here. Number 2, I am not lazy. I recognize that I'm far more capable, mentally and physically, than I give myself credit for. Each week I strive to accomplish more than the week prior, and each year more than the year before. I will not waste my time watching hours of TV, playing hours of video games, spending wasteful hours on pointless social media, or just procrastinating. I get things done. So, I want you to embrace that part of it is stop being lazy. And a lot of people get offended, oh, I'm not lazy, stop calling me lazy. Yes, you are. You are lazy. I'm lazy, you're lazy, everybody's lazy. Nobody is as efficient as he or she can be. And we all need to be reminded that we have to get off the couch and actually do something with our lives. I'm just plugging in my phone, 1 second. Again, I recognize I'm far more capable mentally and physically than I give myself credit for. Each week I strive to accomplish more than the week prior, and each year more than the year before. I want you guys to make this next week, like it's Friday. You can accomplish more in these next 3 days before the end of the week than you've accomplished in the entire month. If you just apply yourself and say, I am not lazy, I get things done. So, and that you give yourself superior status to others. That's one definition of a cult, Avery. It's not, I don't advertise what we're doing as a cult. It's a global not-for-profit community of people who want to improve their lives. If people want to call it a cult, they can call it a cult. I don't really care. I think anything that people don't understand, they call it a cult. BNI is called Business Networking International. A lot of people call that a cult, but I don't think so. I think it's just a collection of people getting together to try to network and improve the success of their business through networking. And so, let's see. Avery says sitting this on the couch. I'm doing a live stream as the head of YouTube Live for a international not-for-profit. That's not the definition of a lazy person, just so you know, Alan. Ishbin Vasa says, I think we'll be worshiping something soon, or we're looking at the future, Daniel Larson or Chris Chan. Don't know who those people are, but they're not as awesome as I am, and they're certainly not as amazing as breakdiving. The third tenet of the diver's code: I never give up. I never give up until I've exhausted every avenue of pursuit or genuinely decide I no longer want to pursue something. I never use excuses or blames others for why I don't accomplish things. And that's a super important one. Too many people give up on their dreams way too soon. And they give up before they've tried absolutely everything. And even if they've tried everything, well, maybe what you tried was perfect, but you tried it at the wrong time. Maybe if you try it again. For my YouTube Live, I had started YouTube Live on my own channel maybe 3 years ago. I did a YouTube Live, but nobody watched, and I just gave up. And I could have said, oh, I'm never going to do YouTube Live. It didn't work. I tried it again this last June. Boom. The channel exploded, and I got monetized in 3 months. So now I'm realizing, wow, that's how you can monetize a YouTube channel. So let me do that for my not-for-profit breakdiving as well. Here we are, trying it again. Never give up. I never use excuses or blame others for why I don't accomplish things. And I think we all do this a lot of times. We try to blame other people and say, oh, I didn't fail because of me. I failed because of somebody else, or because of what somebody else did or did not do. And let me see what's up, Trollface Edits? Great to have you here. Good to have you here, Trollface Edits. I like your new name, SML Fandom. And I like your new smiley face. Very cool. Ishbin Vasa says, Chris Khan is the most documented person on the internet, and Daniel can respond in a cheese factory. I'm not sure what any of that means. But what do the profits of the nonprofit support? The not-for-profit, they go towards keeping our community servers up. We have a community at breakdiving.io, and it costs about $110 a month. And so we're hoping, right now we have people who make donations every month, and we have paid members. I'm hoping to get this channel monetized, because then the ad revenue and the members, the super chats, can help keep the servers up even more. We're launching our mobile app on the app stores on Android and iPhone in November, December. And so we're going to need to get more coders to help keep that up to date. So there are a lot of things that the money goes towards. And eventually, of course, it's a not-for-profit, eventually need to hire staff. So it would eventually go to that as well. SML says it's supposed to be a super emoji, but I can't change it. Well, hey, I think it looks awesome. It's a beautiful smiling face with sunglasses. Hey, by the way, SML, can we get another like? We've been stuck at 4 likes for a while, and I'd really like to get up to 5. And I think we can get there with your support. So that's number 3, is I never give up. I never give up until I've exhausted every avenue of pursuit. Thank you for the like. Really appreciate that, SML. I never give up until I've exhausted every avenue of pursuit or genuinely decide I no longer want to pursue something. I never use excuses or blame others for why I don't accomplish things. And then we're going to just review number 4. We're going to review number 4, which is I always say please and thank you. I always try to remember to say please and thank you to show respect and appreciation to those who have tried to help me along the way. So first I'll say, please click like, please subscribe to this channel, please continue to support it. And see you later, SML. And secondly, I would say thank you to all of you for being on this live stream. Avery, SML Fandom, Ich bin Wasser, Love and Light, Dr. Who, What, Where, all you guys. Thank you for being a part of this live stream. It is greatly appreciated. Remember to always say please and thank you to everybody in your life. Avery says the proceeds of the nonprofit support the growth of the organization like Scientology. I don't know if Scientology is sort of like a quasi-religious thing. Breakdiving is more of a publicly available community. And so I wouldn't consider us in any way the same as Scientology. You also don't need to pay any money to be a part of breakdiving. So, and then the last one for today is 5. I try not to get offended. I try not to get offended. I try not to let the opinions of others determine my future, nor do I get bogged down with unreasonable political correctness just to please everyone. Nor do I get easily offended by petty issues that ultimately only serve to distract me from my dreams. So, those are the 5 that we covered today. There are Can you hear me now? Hello? When someone's leaving me a voicemail. Okay. It's so annoying. The YouTube app needs to be updated, or the Apple needs to be, that iPhone software needs to be updated. I was just saying the ones that we're going to cover the next time. Number 6, I do not lie, cheat, steal, or plagiarize. Number 7, I always try to help. Number 8, I brag tastefully. 9, I keep my ego in check. 10, I ask for help. 11, I broaden my horizons. And 12, I just see winners. And those are the topics that we're going to cover on the next breakdiving live stream when we talk about the Divers Code. So again, thank you so much. I hope you guys will check out breakdiving.io. It's a global, not-for-profit community of winners who are all trying to help one another succeed. And we'd love you to check it out. So thank you so much, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for clicking like. Thanks for being a part of this. And see you later. Bye, guys.